Let me see your pen. Hello, hello. Good evening.
They caught us.
Yes, you caught us. You caught us, two fabulous women. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Say TellUs. Today is February 27th, 2019. Have one of my favorite, not one of, the favorite guests that I always love having her here.
Thank you.
Clinician Tracy Monroy-Loye. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And thank you so much for gracing the Say TellUs show again. I really appreciate that. So we're in for a treat today. Be sure to get ready to call in with your questions so you can get great answers. You're going to love the topic of discussion today, because the topic of discussion today is whatever you want it to be, whatever you call in and have questions regarding. Now, it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I'm going to have a follow-up show for that next Say TellUs show, which should be, I believe, on March 9th or either March 6th, whatever that second Wednesday is, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, Say TellUs streams live on Facebook, on ROKU, Instagram, Twitter, and thank you, my producer told me it's going to be March 13th. March 13th, we're going to have a part 2 of domestic violence, and you're going to really want to tune into that show, because you're going to be in for a beyond surprise of who's going to be showcasing that show and discussing that show. And would you be able to come back on for that program as well on March 13th? It's on a
that
Wednesday.
should be fine. I'll check my calendar before I leave.
Because
the
I have
station.
someone that wants to definitely talk about that issue, because they have experienced it in their marriage, just right off the bat in the marriage. So they want to really come clean with that. And that's one thing we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, because domestic violence is not always being given by the man. Sometimes it's being given by the woman. The reciprocator can also be a man. But in this case, it's been the man being the abuser. So we want to definitely, and I'm going to invite him even to be on the show. Hopefully he will show up. Not sure if he will, but the wife who was the abusee, she's definitely going to be here. And it's not going to be just verbals. We're going to have some photos to show you, unfortunately, of some of the abuse that she did experience. So it's really going to be eye-awakening and educational. If you know someone that has experienced domestic violence, please try and get them and the abuser to get therapy. Miss Tracy Monroy-Loye is a clinician. Great clinician to talk to and to get the healing. And that's one thing I can honestly say about the gentleman that I know who is going through this, and he and his wife. A good guy, but he just needs therapy. He derived from a family of abuse. His parents, unfortunately, all they did was show the children abuse all throughout their marriage. They're still married. You know, they don't even live together and haven't for over 20 years. It's just a cycle that continues on and on and on. It's truly sad. So we want you to get ready to call in with your questions and with your concerns. And Tracy, let me ask you this before the callers start coming in on the phone line. One conversation that I had with a person who was an abuser, he thought that screaming and shouting and chest butting and doing this and shadow boxing and doing all that wasn't a form of abuse. They said that they thought that, what is that? They had said that when you're really in love and passionate about the marriage, then you're real passionate even in your arguing.
So let's give some clarifications.
Okay.
Oftentimes, abuse is categorized as physical violence, but there are so many forms of abuse. You have the physical, you have the mental, you have the emotional, right? And it's interesting in working with military personnel, even workplace abuse is becoming more prevalent, whereby people are talking about it. So abuse is never in one form. The reality becomes in relationships and in interaction, we all have the right to set boundaries.
Yes.
Every relationship, whether it's on the job, in the home, with your friends, we all have that right to set limits.
Yes.
And the reality becomes when you're engaged with anybody, even when it comes down to your children, there's parental abuse. You know, you get to set the limits of how you would like to interact and what that looks like. So anything beyond that realm categorically can be viewed as a form of abuse.
Okay.
You know, that's why for so long we would hear and see these slogans that we were teaching the kids since the 80s that no means no.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Right?
remember that. I remember that.
And so the reality
That's true.
becomes you know what feels loving and kind.
That's
And
true.
what you're going to tolerate. And when it moves outside of that realm. I do want to reframe something you said.
Okay, please correct me.
You said that next time on air you have someone who wants to come clean. Let's reframe that a little bit.
Okay, okay.
It's not about coming clean. It's about sharing your story.
And the experience that person had.
Absolutely. Sharing
thank you
your
for that
story.
correction. Yes.
My pleasure. And it's not a correction, just a little reframing.
Okay.
Because let's be clear. What we say is even taken into our brain
Okay.
at a certain place. So you want to hold your stuff in the proper way, in the proper placement.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's sharing.
Yes.
What is there to come clean about?
Yes,
Because even in dynamics of whatever level of relationship where abuse becomes evident, you gotta have participating partners, whether one's an active participant,
Yes.
one is a passively active participant, right? So let's be clear about that, and it's not to blame anyone, rather it's the aggressor or the victim, because that's not what it's about.
That's true.
When you start to see and experience those behaviors, know that something is going on. And it's called seeking support.
Yes, yes.
Right? Because even as a LPC, which is a licensed professional counselor, we are known as clinicians, we're known as psychotherapists, we're known as counselors, we're known as therapists.
Okay.
And the reality is our role is to make the quality of your life better, not by advising you, but by attuning with you.
Yes.
You get to set the rules, the standards, the boundaries, all of that for your life. That's not our job. But what we are we're great interpreters.
Okay.
Because, prime example, you have traditional family systems. You have people that are practitioners of various things. Let's use religion because that's an easy one.
Okay.
Excuse me, to lend understanding. You have Buddhists, you have Christians, you have Judaism that are Jewish. You have Yahweh ben Yahweh followers. You have Muslims. You have Baptists. You have, I mean, you name it.
Right.
And we all coexist. Now, the ultimate, from my perspective, having studied theology, but one of the main tenets of every religion, there is a power broker. There is one or many, because I know even in Catholicism, they have the saints.
True.
In African indigenous religions, they have the Orishas, or
even
the
heard of that.
gods.
Okay.
And so in different faith practices,
Yes.
there's always an entity or some type of grouping of the power, right? Because as people of faith, oftentimes we look to our higher power
Yes, that's true.
for that support,
That's true.
for that beyond our selfness, even when we feel one with spirit, one with God, one with the universe. However you categorize that for yourself, same thing with relationships. Just as faith believers and there are tenets of your religion or your faith or your belief, however you want to call it, relationships are no different. So every people have the right to set the terms of their engagement. And so as a licensed professional, it's not our job to dismantle your belief, but to walk alongside, give an interpretation, and beyond the interpretation, there are just some skills that we all can benefit from, whether it's communication, whether it's anger management, whether it's managing the symptoms of any diagnosis that you may have gotten, whether it's behaviors that are maladaptive, meaning, you know, not the healthiest way. So the deal is not to make cookie cutter people, but to assist people with living their best life, their truest life, and gaining understanding and awareness. That's what counseling's about. It's about awareness. Therapy is about behavioral change. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there because, you know, oftentimes it's not discussed and education is pretty minimal.
Right. Now let me ask you this, because of course that person's not here right now. What would be just, and this is just for viewers who know you need therapy, or even for those who you don't think you need therapy. But
when you say therapy, it sounds so clinical and unreachable.
What's the proper word usage even on that?
Support.
When you, so someone who needs support to stop being an abuser because they truly have anger management problems, what would be something that the abusee, the person that's receiving, what could they do to try to even persuade that person to get that type of support? And they've been trying to get them to get that support for over a year. So I mean, what should that person, what should he or she do?
I don't know if it's a thing of persuading. I think it falls right in alignment with addictive behaviors.
You know what? I said the same thing. I said, to me, this is just like a drug addict who doesn't realize, or an alcoholic who doesn't realize they have an abuse problem with drugs or alcoholism. They can't see it. I was talking to a niece the other day, and she was saying how, not an actual niece, but a play niece, you know, so close to me, she feels like my niece.
You know, you might be black with these play family members,
exactly,
but okay.
Exactly, but she had just told me, she said how one of her uncles is an alcoholic, but he doesn't consider himself one, but of course his father is, but he's just the same, and he just can't see it.
What you're indicating is the normalcy in people's existence, right? Because it's not uncommon for us to become our experience and that in which we've been exposed to. That becomes your norm. And everyone has their own sense of normalcy at the end of the day, their way of being. And the reality is when you start putting one set of normalcy with your set of normalcy, oftentimes we find they're incongruent. You know, so we're being repelling and not coming together as one because of the differences. And the reality when it comes to, because you did indicate it's a husband and wife situation, let's be clear. There are numerous things that suggest and determine the health of our relationships.
True.
Some of the simple things have to do with communicational styles, value systems, what that looks like, because at the end of the day, if you have a different set of values than those your counterparts, then it's going to create some friction.
I believe it. I believe that.
You know, and so the deal is, how livable is that for the partakers of that relationship? What does that happy medium look like when it comes to neutrality and everybody maintaining their positions as individuals, but coming together in relationship with something that's agreeable to all parties involved becomes the challenge. And oftentimes a neutral party is needed, which would be myself and my counterparts.
Did they used to call that a mediator?
Not even a mediator, but just a neutral party.
Okay.
That doesn't take sides. I would not ever take sides with a couple,
Yes,
or even
yes.
when it comes to a family dynamic. In fact, that would be deemed unethical, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, because what I'm finding, my specialty is quickly becoming trauma and couples. You know, and everything in between. That doesn't stop me from the work involving depression, psychosis, you know, learning situations with the ADHD, dyslexia, the family system in and of itself and what that looks like, vocational support for those that need to key in and key in to their gifts and their strengths, and their weaknesses as well. So when you start talking about dealing with humanity and dealing with psychological, emotional, mental, and those aspects of who we are, let's be clear, it all starts in the brain. That's the central nervous system, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So for every behavior we do, every behavior we see others perpetuate, just know that there is a payoff for the person who's doing it.
Exactly. I remember I heard a girlfriend say years ago that they said parents or whomever a guardian is, they're subjecting these children to such hellacious environments, and then they're letting them loose in society, and we have to deal with them. I hadn't even thought of it that way. You know, this was at least 10 or 15 years ago when she said that. And I hadn't even thought of it that way. And, you know, we always say that, oh, that's just the way they are. That's just the way so-and-so perceives so-and-so and so-and-so. But my thing is, and what I've always felt and believe is, I try and live by the golden rule. I simply try to literally do unto others as I want do unto me, meaning I'm not going to literally do and say certain things to you that I don't want done to me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I just don't want to do that. And that's whether I'm speaking matter-of-factly, in disagreement or in agreement. I'm still not going to purposefully be hurtful. Now, we can disagree on anything and everything. I have some callers, excuse me, Gannett, I have people calling in, they're texting me, and they said it's not ringing. No. Yeah, I have it on. And this happened last time as well, because I was wondering, because I normally get calls and things, but I just try and break my neck to not initiate anything negative, you know, because I truly cherish another human being wanting to be in my space. And wanting to do things with me, and so we can do things together. That in itself truly is an honor, because when you really allow someone in your life, you're giving of yourself, and there's nothing more precious than giving that time to someone. So I always have a small circle, but therefore, and I guess subconsciously I've always done that, but that's because I knew I can't stretch myself too thin to 50 people even.
Okay.
Not even 25 really that well, and not give myself as 100%. But then again, when one person may want one thing, someone may need something a little less or a little more.
Hey.
It just varies. It really does. Thank you for calling Say TellUs TV Show. Thank you for calling in. Please state your name and what city you're calling from.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Joseph, and I'm from New York City.
Oh, great. How are you doing? And I'm sorry, what was your name again? I was thanking the producer.
Oh, Don.
Okay, Don. Thank you for calling you from New York City. And again, you know we have our clinician here today for you. And Don, this is for you. This is one of the Say TellUs fans, Miss Tracy Monroy-Loye, who he has been requesting you and requesting you. And, you know, Don, what I want to also say is this, and I'm going to have to ask Tracy and see if she can do this. I'm hoping it's an option. Would it be an option for you to even receive therapy for support from her on the phone, even since he is long distance, and you guys could go FaceTime or Duo or how do you do that?
I would love that. I don't know if for insurance.
Wants you to be his clinician because his moved out of state. And I thought about that the other day. I said, well, can't she do it? We're always talking to people through the phone. Why not on a business call? Would that be something you'd be willing to do for Dawn?
That is
Go ahead, Don.
Sure. Oh, that would definitely be something that I'm interested in. I don't know how that works with insurances, but yeah, if we can make it happen, I'm here.
Here is how it works according to licensed law, unfortunately. We're not supposed to practice across state lines. And I am not licensed in New York.
I see what you're
and the challenge becomes of an ethical nature.
Gotcha.
You got me?
Bummer.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because when it comes to licensure laws, they are really sticklers about that because there's no problem with the telehealth. You know, because we do online counseling all the time. We do, even in hospitals, many of them don't have psychiatry in the building.
Goodness.
And so oftentimes assessments, and things have to be done via telecommunications. And what's so interesting, a lot of doctors don't, a lot of psychiatrists in particular and other doctors, they don't even take patients in their office.
Really?
Yep, they're using telehealth. In fact, a couple of years ago, it was required as continuing education and remaining compliant with the composite board that we were required, mandatory, to take telehealth.
And that means through the phone or a computer.
Anything outside of in person of how to remain compliant with HIPAA. When it comes to texting, emailing.
Wow.
It's serious because your medical information is private.
Absolutely.
So they do or don't agree with that? They do.
There's a method, there's a way, a systematic way that we have to do it to protect your
confidentiality.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Your private health information.
Okay. But if the patient lived in your area and their session was scheduled that day, but they're in California, that's a different scenario.
Oh, that's a whole different scenario.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
Well, bummer for that. So you need to come here, get a address, and just visit New York for a long time. And then visit New York for a long time. That's what you need to do.
So, Don, you called about something.
Yes.
What was that today?
I did call about something I've been battling for a little while now, and it is simply being taken advantage at the workplace. So in my current job where I work, I believe in teamwork. And I've been noticing, I've been at this job for about 6 months now, and I notice that whenever someone needs coverage, they run to me. Because I'm in my mind, we're a team. If you need help, I will do it. Because I know that you'll help me if I need it. But I'm learning it's not working out that way. So, for an example, this week on Friday, I kind of heard around, the water cooler that about 4 people are going to call out, which means that me going to work, I'm going to have to cover a lot of people's clients and a lot of people's groups. What is your opinion on balancing being a team player but not being taken advantage of? Because I want to be assertive in this, but I don't want to seem like I'm not contributing to my team. I don't know if that's making any sense.
Let me ask you this, because your solution is real easy to just say no, not being cliche. But the second part to that, Don, what is your fear of saying no?
I've been saying no for a little while, and my superiors are telling me that it's coming off that I'm not being a team player. And I've been communicating to everyone that I am a team player. It's just that I feel like I am the team. Like I am the only one in this team. So
I don't know if you've set a false expectation by having said yes. Yeah,
and me being the new guy. But sure, I'll help you with that. Like I'm still, forming relationships with my new coworkers and learning new things and just getting the culture of my office. But I'm getting burnt out. I'm having a hard time I'm having a hard time just
striking a balance.
yeah, it's
So,
the balance of it.
well,
It's
let's
just-
go here because you said that you're still acclimating and transitioning, wanting to be accepted by your colleagues. But the curiosity for me, and I want you to consider this even for you, is what is the benefit for you from the onset? Because it's like you're teaching them how to treat you and interact with you. So, what was all of that about, even initially, beyond feeling accepted?
You mean in terms of what I was trying to obtain?
Right. Your
from being
approach.
there?
Your approach to becoming a part of the team, being accepted as a team member.
Oh, I got you.
and team player.
So I come from an institution where there wasn't a lot of teamwork, even though it's always been like super important to me. So I wanted to really like emphasize to my new coworkers that I do believe in teamwork, and I think that we are one machine, and we can accomplish a lot, by working together. But I'm learning at this place, it's not really teamwork. It's, I don't know, the culture in my office now is that, like an example would be, oh, everyone's going to call out tomorrow, so you need to call out too, otherwise you're going to be stuck with someone else's work. And I was literally told that by a coworker today. And I was like, what? So I don't know. It's just,
So, Don, let's be clear. You've been at the job 6 months,
yep.
so you've gotten an opportunity to experience the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You have been confronted with their spoken and unspoken and unwritten expectations.
Mm-hmm.
After 6 months, you've been able to make a reasonable assessment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this working for you?
Mm-hmm. And it's although I like my job and my clients, it's my coworkers. And I haven't ever worked at a place before when it was my coworkers are the reason why I'm considering leaving. And
Okay.
it's just
Well,
it's
lucky
interesting
you.
to me.
Lucky you for never experiencing that. I experienced that on almost every job I've ever been on.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
because
I-
you've really been blessed, and I'm sorry to interject, but
No,
you've
no,
really
no,
been blessed to
I-
work in such positive environments. I tell my daughter all the time, thank God for your superior, your manager, and your
Yeah.
colleagues right now, because she loves her job, great benefits, they
Yeah.
respect each other and all that. So lucky you that you haven't experienced that on 80 to 90% of your jobs. And I just want to interject just another thing right quick. They want us to start acknowledging our fans that are online. Emmanuel Collier, I see you watching. Papa, I see you on here. And Lady Laura, thank you for tuning in, honey. We really appreciate you. These are people in Oklahoma and also in New York. They're in the house. But continue with that. But yeah, lucky you, because again, I've always ignored people on a job because I never went to work to make friends. I know how to be intelligent and how to be kind and just ignore them. As long as no one would negatively touch me, I'm fine. Sticks and stones break my bones, but yeah, words never hurt me. So lucky you. I've never experienced, well, maybe once or twice, but.
So,
Is there any result for this situation, or is this something that would have to come from management?
well, yeah, there's a resolve for you because they hired you to do your job and not your cohorts,
Thank you.
right?
Yep, exactly.
And so I think the issue is more with you, Don, than with them.
Okay.
Because somehow you seemingly have. Are you the social worker that's called before when I was on the air?
There I am. Yep, that's me.
Okay. So I think even last time we spoke about your boundaries, even with clients and patients, right?
Right.
Sure
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going right back to this place of you've got to do the work on Joseph, on Don, right? Because it doesn't seem that the apprehension to be yourself is anything new for you. Seems like this has been ongoing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So definitely that's a great place to start because I'm starting to wonder how does your self-perception look?
I like that. That's a good.
It's easy to work externally. The hard and the most rewarding part is to work internally, outwardly, right? So starting from the inside and working ourselves to the outside, but it's easy to identify and to label and put terms on external acumens.
Right.
But on that internal side, can be scary to kind of pull back the veil and peek at me, peek at thine own self. But let's be clear, that is the best gift you could give yourself, is self-actualization.
Yeah.
It will cut out a lot of the BS.
And when you say
People
self-actualization, define that literally for us.
Yeah, you would. I mean, you know, yeah, in your 20s is fine not to be self-actualized, 30s even, but man, when you start hitting those 40s on...
No, literally define that word usage.
Well,
actualization.
self-actualization...
I think I know what it means, but I want everyone else to be clear.
But self-actualization is all about intimacy with yourself and understanding who you are and what that looks like, because we take ourselves to every relationship, encounter, interaction that we would have. I'll give you a prime example. I should be ashamed, but I'm not. So my husband was still at work last night. And I had a few minutes to burn. Nothing really.
Can I acknowledge that?
Sure.
Congratulations to Tracy. Used to be Gatlin Monroy, but now it is Tracy Monroy-Loye. Oh,
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
say it,
Thank
people.
you.
Loye. I love that name, Loye. Loye. That's a beautiful name.
Thank
And
you.
when she told me what it was, when I talked to her after she had gotten married, I said, "Isn't that French?" It's just so beautiful. That's a beautiful name. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you.
He's a good guy. I met him once when we met initially, and he's a real good gentleman.
Thank
and they
you.
just really seem like they just mesh so well. So congratulations on that. Because
Thank
to me,
you.
that's one of the best relationships in the world, is between a husband and a wife. And I say that because when everyone dies, you can always go home and cry on that spouse's shoulder. And to me, that can be the most traumatic death, is to lose a spouse. Because who's
Yeah,
going to hold her and him at night when they're gone? So congratulations, sincerely. And I'm so happy.
Congratulations
I mean,
to you.
seriously.
Thank you.
What a blessing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I just had to give her that.
Yeah, and so last night, it's like the girls that work in the convenience store, when I stop for gas and snacks or whatever around the office building. So, and because I live not far from work, my office and my home are less than 7 minutes apart.
Oh, what a treat.
So they know when I'm tipping.
Okay.
Or I'm sneaking, they'll notice by what I pick up, you know. And so last night I was like, I never play lottery.
Okay.
So one of the young girls, because I'm always admiring their eyelashes, their eyebrows, their this and their that, because that's just me. I love young adults.
You're girly girl.
Yeah, and so I was like, what's up with this lottery? I said, pick me a lottery card. Let me see what's up.
Okay.
So she was like, oh, where's your husband? I was like, don't even go there. He's still at work, but I want to play a little lottery.
Right.
She gave me the last two Monopoly cards, the
Okay.
$5 cards. And what was so funny about it, they were the last two. I don't know anything about lottery. So I scratched them off and I thought I won $5.
What
And
did
of
you
course,
get?
I took it into them for them to do it because I don't know anything about lottery.
Right.
I won $50.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
I did, but now let me tell you the funny part. I have yet to tell my husband
That you won.
that I played.
Oh, okay. Oh, because you never
Win,
play.
lose, or draw.
Okay. So
You know-
is he the one that normally plays the
No, he
Oh,
would
so
not
neither one of
spend
you
a
then.
nickel
I hear you. I've
on
never bought
any of that.
Excuse me.
And so I'm saying that to say this. Even in relationship, whether it's our colleagues, co-workers, our children, our families, our husband, our siblings, whatever that relationship is, at the end of the day, we all reserve the right to be just who we are.
Amen. And I totally agree with that.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We take all of us to a relationship, to a job, to an interaction. But can we put in there the big but? Because every human being has the right, and they should, save a piece of them for themselves. Because if you're giving 90%, 95% to your loved ones, to your job, to any commitment,
Right. What's left for you?
I mean, come on, somebody. What is the problem?
Right. I call
If
it
I'm giving you
self-preservation.
$95 out of 100,
I gotta
why
take care of
can't
me.
I have $5 for myself? I say this even to parents who are
Treat yourself.
co-parenting with
yourself.
somebody. Single parents don't matter. You, at the end of the day, you must acknowledge you.
Yes.
You must honor you. And when people begin to honor themselves,
That's true.
they will automatically kick in a mode of setting boundaries
Yes. Self-love.
and teaching people how to treat them. I have a 19-year-old son. Gorgeous as he is,
I spent him
all
years
the
ago.
time. But and I'm so tickled when I watch him, although I get to parent differently now that he's in college.
Lady Laura said, I like her. Thank you, Lady Laura. And I know she would like
Ashe.
you too.
Ashe, I'm
She's in New
humble.
York.
But the reality,
She's so real, Laura.
you got to be, especially when you're dealing with people that look like me, because when you come to them with all that cadence and all that old, jargon
Yes.
from your profession, I don't care if you're an attorney, I don't care if you're a therapist, I don't care if you whatever, a manager of a store.
Exactly.
I got to talk to my people in a way that they get it, just like when you're talking to children.
Yes.
You know, okay, I didn't
That's
pass
so
the
true.
test. I'm fully licensed. But in communication, it means nothing if I can't relay, transcend our encounter, and that you leave with the nuggets you came for.
Yeah.
You know, as simple as the girls at the gas station and the young men, when they see me coming, their face light up. They're like, "Where's your husband?" And I'm like, "Y'all know I'm tipping." And they're like, "You're so
cute.
funny." But there are those times. It's no different than having that candy bar that you're not going to share with nobody. So what I've learned, people, when I go
I see where you're
home,
going with it now.
you see where I'm going?
I see now.
When I go home with a candy bar, whether it's my man or whether it's my son, what am I going to go home with one candy bar for?
Right.
I'm going to take you a candy bar too, because I don't want to be disturbed with mine. Not that I need it.
Exactly. I hear you.
Is it making sense?
Of course it makes sense.
That makes
I
perfect
see.
sense.
I want all of mine because sometimes you need all of yours as well. Sometimes we don't
Yeah.
need to share that. Is
You
that what you're
gotta
saying?
keep
Okay.
a piece of
Yes.
you
Yes.
for thine
Only
own self.
you.
Because
Yes.
let me tell you what happens when you don't.
Tell them.
First of all, never give more than you can stand to lose.
Ooh.
Because giving is all
Repeat
about
that.
unconditional.
Repeat.
Never give more than
Can
you can
say that
stand
one
to
more time?
lose.
Never give more.
Than you can stand to lose.
Never give more than you can stand to lose. That's a hashtag, people. Never give more than you're willing to lose.
Period.
Never give more than you
You
can
can
stand
stand to lose. Because here's
Big
the
difference.
reality. When we start talking about unconditional anything, let's be clear about it.
Does it even exist though?
It does, because
okay,
I'm giving to you because I got it to give.
Okay.
But I cannot give with the expectation of how you going to receive it, how you going to use it, and what I'm going to get back.
That's true. Tell it, honey. Much you love her.
That's real.
Yeah, it is.
My family and friends know, don't call me about borrowing no money. Because at the end of the day, if I give you something,
Literally giving.
you see the difference in the words?
Yes, ma'am. That's my mother's word.
Don't call me about borrowing, because I ain't falling out with you about
That's
nothing.
right. That's right.
Because if I give it to you and you don't give it back, I got to know
It's
when I
okay.
gave it, it was a donation. Don't give what you can't stand to lose. Because if you do, here's the danger. you will grow the biggest tree. And I ain't talking about no shrub, people. You will grow the biggest tree that you will water, that you will fertilize, called resentment.
Say that's true.
When you go beyond your own boundaries and you begin to give out an empty,
And it's hurting you.
you're giving out an empty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
because when
that.
you have all those
believe it.
expectations, when you have all those unspoken things that you really want, you know, that's the only reason folk fall out with their partners when it ends.
True.
They don't want to say, Ashe, amen, sister, brother, whoever, peace be with you on your way.
Tell the truth.
You know, because at some point you extended yourself beyond your own reach.
That's right.
And that's not necessary.
And my little layman's term for that is, if helping you hurts me, it won't be done.
Okay. That's your boundary.
Right.
That's your limit.
If meaning I can't give you my last $20 and I got to turn around and borrow $5 from somebody to get some gas. So I can't help you if I can't maintain myself. And to me, if you're that close to me, you would know my situation and not even ask. But I'm like you. If I give, I don't ever expect anything back. And my mother used to always say, don't even loan money with the intention of getting it back, because most of the times you don't, and then there goes a friendship. She said, but when you want to pay somebody off and not deal with them no more, give them the money. You ain't got to ever hear from them again. She said, so sometimes it's good to pay people off and get them out your, get them out your pocket.
Oprah says the same thing.
Yeah. But I love the way you stated that. Let's give a couple more shout outs to DeJounte McGee, Andreas Fulcher, and it was a couple of people on here I can't pronounce names. Guys, we appreciate you so much for tuning into the Say TellUs show. They want us to just acknowledge more so of our fans that are watching live all the time, because again, y'all could be watching a whole lot of other things, but we appreciate you for tuning in to Status Network, and especially on the Say TellUs show every second, every fourth Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. So continue on, Miss Loye.
Well, I think it's for Don and him setting limits with himself and becoming self-actualized, to have the courage to go in those hidden places that keep popping up saying, hello.
Yeah.
What's up?
And you know what? The way I've always handled my happiness at work, anything that I'm getting above medical, dental, vision, vacation, and a direct deposit is icing on the cake. Yes, I want the promotion. I prepare for the best, but I expect the worst. And if I'm always training people to be my supervisor, I'm like, what else is new?
Right.
You just have to tune out, and I pray each time to get a better company, and some of them are a little bit better than the other. But you know what? History truly repeats itself in any form and fashion. There are going to be some negative coworkers wherever you go, from McDonald's to the White House. But I'm sure that has to hurt in y'all's field, where we're supposed to be ethical and moral and helping each other, and then you have coworkers. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you
that would
this.
just be like bummer.
And I want you guys to pick up a pen, because I know Say has a sorry.
It looks like Say.
Cyan. I have to remember Cyan. Excuse me.
That's okay.
I'm a Geechee girl from
I know it, because I'm
Charleston.
still trying to get Monroy-Loye.
Lawyer.
Can I call you Miss Loye, or you want that hyphenation?
I am simply Tracy or TG.
Oh, okay.
Them
TG.
people mamas is Mrs. and all that.
Yeah, I cannot. But again, that's what they feel makes them feel something.
Listen.
Because they can't feel that just being themselves. We feel that, you feel that being yourself. TG.
When you're almost 6 feet tall and you were
Gorgeous.
thank you.
Gorgeous.
Which TG,
Tall and gorgeous. Yes, I remember.
When your feet are a size 12 in women, and when you know you need them size 18 for them to go on up over that
That's
hip.
all right, honey. That's a
You
good size.
understand?
I get it.
And
I'm in it.
so, because you tall, you need that 2X, but really you can wear a 1X. And so, at that point, there is just no hiding for me.
Amen.
And nor do I
accept
care
that. Hello.
to hide, because every moment of the day,
I love that.
I am always going to be with me. And there are times when it's just going to be always my higher power, my father, Abba, whatever you care to call your spirituality piece or whatever, spirit. I'm going to tell you guys something interesting to tell you how committed I am to the life that I live. So the last 4 Monday evenings, I took on a class.
Okay.
For my it's for my own self-care.
Okay.
Because we got to have a balance, right? It was 4 Monday evenings. I was the only one that looked like me in the room, but that's okay because I felt like I found my tribe.
Amen.
Where I didn't have to be peculiar, bizarre, weird,
Just
different,
yourself.
just me. And so the title of the class was Intimacy with Self, Relationships, Community, and God. And what was so fascinating,
that? Everyone can partake in that.
what was so fascinating for me from the first group I went to, which I'm not supposed to say anything about the group, but I want to tell you this. There were 2 attorneys in the room, 1 retired, there was a psychologist in the room, and I could go on and on with what comprised the group. And what I'm finding for real, that those that we call successful,
I knew you were going to say it. Go ahead.
they take care of themselves.
See?
Whatever that looks like.
That's right.
If you would have taken the accolades, the credentials, the licensures, we were people in that room that undergird and carry society.
All right.
And y'all should have seen me running on Monday. I was like, okay. People would call for an appointment. I'm like, look, I can't take my last one this Monday past 5:15 because all my Mondays in February are spoken for.
That's right.
If I take you at 5:15, I got to be done with you by 6:15 so I can get into my billing system, go on and hook up your insurance or do your little swipe for your card for your session. And then by 6:30, I got to hit the door and get on through Atlanta, going to my class, trucking.
Taking care of you.
Taking care of me.
Amen.
So much so.
Self-preservation is the first law.
Self-care.
That's where I was
Self-care.
Which is part of that.
We teach people how to care for us.
Yes.
Real talk.
People do to us what we allow them to. And unfortunately, sometimes we allow people to do things to us too long. And it's not wanted.
Well, you know what that's about. I just can't help but say
what is it about? Tell us.
It's not an allowance that anyone allows.
I know. Tolerate?
I wouldn't even say tolerate.
Okay.
I think it's a lack of awareness. Because when a person becomes self-actualized, they won't be on the scene with anything that's not becoming. And so often,
gotta wake up.
People want to become who they think others want them to be. And so in the
you
midst,
just keep getting love. They're just loving you through this whole show.
Ashe.
I just want to recognize Facebook's fans tuning in right now. We see all this love. Thank you so much for that. Keep going, Trey.
When we set expectations for ourselves, when we care for ourselves, and I'll use my own experience because I'm that transparent therapist or a professional counselor, whatever you want to call me, so much so, not this Monday just passed, which was my last class, but the Monday before, I knew I needed to spend some time with my husband, okay? So I'm just setting up the scene. That Monday, he happened to be off. So I was like, okay, cool. My birthday was in February. Benny Hunter's been sending me their little $30 certificate. Y'all better sign up for it. Because you get $30 at Benny Hunter. They'll email it to you on your birthday. But now they make you purchase an entree where before you could just go in with your $30 certificate and have lunch on them or dinner.
That's cool.
So I knew that my husband and I weren't spending as much time together just because of the way my schedule was running, his schedule was running.
Right.
So I said, okay, babe, let's go to Benny Hunter's, which he had never heard of because he's Nigerian. Which is another show for another day about me telling God, don't give me no African and don't give me nobody over 50. Well, he all of that. So
it's great. It's perfect for you.
It's awesome.
Amen.
So I called him when I got through with my last session Monday, and I says, babe, if we hurry, I can actually get us over to Benny Hunter's. We can eat. Maybe I can drop you back home. Then I can go to my class, whatever.
Okay.
He was like, I will Uber anywhere. At first, he said he was watching his soccer game. I was like, babe, so don't worry about it. We'll do this another time.
Right.
I want you to enjoy your downtime.
Aww.
So I got off
See,
the
considering
phone,
each other.
and he called me back. He says, you know something? I am going in the shower. I'm mocking him. My in-laws
I love
say,
that. No, I love that. I love that.
You're mocking
That's
him.
so cute, though. Do it.
But he's so expressive.
Yes.
And so he called back.
They're animated.
Yeah.
They're just so
They're passionate.
Yes, just
They're passionate.
and so genuine with it, though. I love that.
Right. Because they don't have that part of the DNA we got, but that's a whole nother
exactly.
story. Because the brother had to tell me one day, I'm not African American, I'm African. I was like, go
I know
ahead
that's
on.
right.
But
Look.
your bad self
Thank you.
escaped slavery.
Thank
coming
you.
to America. But anyway, so he called back. He says, no, baby, I am going to the shower. And I am going to go. I said, okay. And so we went, and with the service was horrible this night. We had a new server, but the hibachi cook was great, all that. So Ayo ended up going to my class with me. And we were a little bit late. And so when we got there, someone came and opened the door and everything. And so Babe was just looking around. So they allowed him to be. You're tickled. What's going on?
No. She said, no, Lady Laura, she's just watching your whole show. My girlfriend from New York. And she's just saying, laugh out loud, coming to America, what you're saying. So everyone just keeps responding to what you're saying, living your best life. I love her. Keep it going. Don't let her leave.
Aw. Well, just know everything I'm saying
great.
publicly, I've already said privately.
Thank you.
And my
So,
friends
they're just
call
loving you.
me CNN, and my man says, don't be making enemies for me. Because he'll act like he don't know what I'm talking about when we're around my family or his, because I'll just tell it. And sometimes he'll say to me, that's a secret. I'm like, whatever. So, but long story short.
Wait, and then right quick again, Neelan Puspajad, thanks for tuning in. Paul Lamar Hunter, thanks for tuning in. Robert, executive celebrity chef Robert Scott, thanks for tuning
what's up.
in.
Where he at?
Carlos Porter, he's here in Atlanta. He was one of the guests on our show, I think around my 3rd or 4th show, maybe the 5th show. He is the executive and chef bar manager for Bar Chicks, Tracy Braxton's.
We're going to have to check him out just
girl,
because
the food
he's...
is delicious. Yeah, I got the address and everything. You need,
Great.
And he does catering if you want him to cater something for you. I'll give you his number.
Sure.
Yeah, remind me.
'Cause me and my babe, we like to eat,
Thank
but we're
you.
starting to walk now because we done got old.
That's okay. And look, Ivy Marie in Ohio, thank you, my love. I see you're tuning in. And the Jadonti McGee, I see you're tuning in. But go ahead, Tracy, Miss Loye.
Tracy is fine. TG is fine.
I want to say Loye because that's just a beautiful name.
I'm just putting out there.
I just love it. I love it.
That
Loye.
when you
Loye.
become self-actualized and when you begin to know what you want,
Hey, look,
people follow suit.
one of my other adages, when I know what I don't want, I sure know what I want. Because when I know what I want, I can clearly see what I don't want. And you're representing the truth.
Now, we differ a little bit in that. Let me tell you why. Because this is my whole mantra. Because I'm so open. I'm such a free spirit and a free being.
Okay.
And I believe we're all connected because every breath you take, one of us is breathing it in.
That's true.
Even the air they're breathing in China, somehow we're all
that's
atoms,
true. That's
right?
true. That's true.
And so there's movement and energy.
Right.
Right? And so we all are connected. I don't care what your faith is, through creation, there's some connection story.
Yeah, that's true.
And so here's what I often invite others to consider.
Okay.
Oftentimes we know what we don't want or what we don't like.
True.
But because we have not experienced everything, my love,
That's true. We can't honestly say
we
it all.
can't honestly say
That's
everything
true.
we like.
That's true. Yeah.
Right?
Literally everything.
We can't, because let me tell you something. Even at my age, I'm not ashamed of it, 49.
That's right, honey. Look,
and it's by
55
grace.
in the house.
The reality becomes, as we go through the process of self-actualization and learn how to inhale and exhale, even in some tough times, you know, we begin to increase our own self-awareness, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to walk around with anything that's not healthy, that's not positive, because every human being wants some of the very same basic things.
That's true.
And one thing that we all share is he or she wants to be happy.
Yes.
Just
True.
like me.
In every country.
Right?
Yes.
He or she wants to feel healthy and whole.
I believe
just
it.
like me.
I believe it.
Right? And so when we begin to skew our lens and our filter of how we see ourselves, then we're better able to see the world.
That's true. That's true. Well, Don,
Yeah, I'm here.
in
yeah.
New York, we're going to wrap it up. So you be sure and move here and, you know, whatever
You
you
are
need.
hilarious.
Whatever you
She said
need to
and
do.
move
I
here.
plan on
But-
coming to visit. So
Yeah, well, come on. You know
you'll
you can
definitely know.
You know you can stay with me anytime, honey. You know that. You know that.
I certainly will.
And bring your better half. You know, it's all great. Seriously.
I sure will. I
But-
want to thank you guys so much. I really needed to hear this after a long day at work.
Oh,
I really
good.
value this time that I had today.
And
thank
honey-
you guys so much.
And pray a lot over them as well. But you got to tune them out per se. And again, don't forget the objective of working there in the first place, and that's any job. And that's that you all have one common goal. You're always going to have
Right.
negative personalities. You know, some of them may be just really trying to pick with you because you are so positive. Don't let them kill your joy. You know,
I
you
won't.
may
I won't.
intimidate them somehow. But I'll keep talking 30 more minutes. Love you.
Love you guys.
Thanks for calling
She
in,
said,
because I
"Love
want to
you."
close this
Thank-
out, and I got to give Miss Loye her props right quick before we get out of here.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, my love. Okay, so you guys, this is a fabulous show, of course, and again, we have clinician Tracy Monroy-Loye, affectionately called TG. She is a licensed professional counselor and visionary that drives Grace Community Counseling and Social Services LLC. She's a fierce proponent. Oh, so sorry. Whomever's calling, we're out of time. I appreciate you calling in. Phone number ending in 2706, but we have not the time. Sorry. She's a fierce proponent of soul care, mental health, behavioral health, and is dedicated to not only treating individuals, couples, adolescents, family systems, and groups, but also educating them about the issues affecting their quality of life. TG is personally involved in the training and development of all the group facilitators and service workers at Grace Community Counseling and Social Services LLC to ensure every participant client receives the highest level of treatment, care, and opportunity to actualize their lives, discovering healing needed to overcome the circumstances of divorce, career change, family, relationships, stress, depression, anxiety, self-discovery, and life circumstances. TG is equipped from a faith-informed, charismatic, out-of-the-box perspective, laden with philosophical underpinnings, sure to meet your emotional, mental, behavioral needs with practical interventions to assist with actualization of your personal and family goals. You can reach her at 678-508-3552. And again, I'll repeat it, 678-508-3552. It's also at the tickler of the screen. See those informations on the bottom of the screen where I have my YouTube. You also have Miss Loye's information as well. Clinician Tracy Monroy-Loye's information is attached to that as well, such as her email address at Gmail. Contact her and set up. I'll be getting my pennies together because I need to sit on that couch and get that what'd you call it? Support. I need the support because Mama's gone for me out here in Georgia, and I just need that support. And she will be back on March 13th well, we will be having part 2 of domestic violence abuse, and hopefully to have an actual couple who's married, going through divorce because of domestic violence abuse. I know she will be here. Hopefully he will be here as well. But if not, Miss Clinician Tracy Monroy-Loye will be here, and another lady, Millie Maylette, will be here. She was a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm gonna see if I can even get.
And let me just say this: Domestic Violence Month is October. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So it's, but you know what? We know it goes on every day.
Every day.
So they can pretend and say it's only emphasized in October. It's every second.
It is.
But thank you guys for tuning in to Say TellUs, and again, download the app of Status Network. You can get that from the Play Store. We are on Periscope. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on LinkedIn. Yannette, am I forgetting any of them? But the main thing is Status Network, the future of broadcasting. Thank you so much to my producer, Yannette, and then also the CEO and owner of Status Network, Jack. Tune into all of our shows, you guys. We're on Lyve TV on this channel. Look up Say TellUs, which looks like Say TellUs on any social media outlet. Put in the word Say TellUs. Follow me. Hit like. Follow me. I want to have more followers. But thank you so much for tuning in to Miss Loye. She is so appreciated. Thank you so much. Call her so we can get that support.
Thanks for having me.
Because I'm sure going to start getting more of that support. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure. Always.
Have a good night, Say TellUs fans. Thank you so much.